In Wing Chun, we only pass out on the outside. If we pass out on the inside, it's considered a chore pass out or the wrong pass out because you're not safe. You pass out this hand's coming right at you. So we try to take the outside gate. But the one dummy tricks you. If your Sifu never tell you that and you're pass out in here, subconsciously you're building the habit of pass out on the inside of the guy's arm. So actually the one dummy is no longer an asset, it's a liability. Hi guys, welcome to this episode of Kung Fu Report, where we're talking about classical Kung Fu's application. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the relationship of Pak Sao to the one dummy and how to enhance its power. Let's see when we get back. Chris, sir, please come in. So the Pak Sao is one of the most basic techniques of Wing Chun, can be used in many ways. So if we do have a basic warm exercise off the chain punches, we can go under the arm, or we can go over the arm, and then when we do that, it's actually completely dependent on timing. If I was early and Chris's arm was bent, there's no hole in the bottom because I actually blocked myself. The hole is actually over the arm, right? But if I was a little bit late and Chris's arm is already almost fully extended, then the opposite is true. There's no hole over the arm, there's a hole under the arm. So where do you attack depends on when, not like a preference, right? If the guy's arm's already extended, you do not push down and hit, even though that's common. Because that only works if the guy's not well trained. If he is well trained and I open the door, he's automatically, I'm going to trigger a response. Chris will hit right away. And even though I hit, I'm at a disadvantage because Chris has a much better line. See? So that's why we never push down the arm, because we have to assume the guy that attacked us might actually be pretty well trained or just naturally have good reflex. So again, when we come in like this, we want to make sure when we come in, we never push the arm down, right? And use brute force. Instead, we can come in over like this, or we can go under the arm like this, right? Or we can train it off trapping. But if I just push the arm down, it just triggers a response. So this common method is not that good. It's better to go in dead into the guy's center so you take the guy's balance even though he's heavier and bigger, or to sculpt the arm a little bit and Chris tries to block, completely turn the guy so he can't and take his balance. So that's a better way to do it. But none of this will work without some form of functional power, which when we get back I'll show you how to increase your power in the wind dummy. Thanks, Chris. Alright guys, so when you play the one dummy with the Pak Sao, like in section 2, which also appear in other areas, when you're doing this, how do you get more power, right? Well, the first thing is you have to do the Pak Sao in a way that is not risky. What that means is to do it safely according to Wing Chun principle. In Wing Chun, we only Pak Sao on the outside. If we Pak Sao on the inside, it's considered a chore Pak Sao or the wrong Pak Sao because you're not safe. You Pak Sao this hand's coming right at you. So we try to take the outside gate. But the one dummy tricks you. If your Sifu never tell you that, and you're Pak Sao in here, subconsciously you're building the habit of Pak Sao on the inside of the guy's arm. So actually the one dummy is no longer an asset, it's a liability. You end up ingraining a bad habit. So you gotta use the right visualization. If I Pak Sao this arm, I have to use my visualization, this arm doesn't exist, and this is the guy's right arm. Likewise, if I Pak Sao this arm doesn't exist, and this is the guy's left arm. So I'm always training myself in my mind to only Pak Sao the outside of the arm. Second thing is you don't want to Pak Sao too far to the end. If you do that, looking at it from a top view, you're actually training yourself to do this. Your pressure now is going sideways, which is suicidal from a Pak Sao point of view, because if a punch is coming and I go sideways, I just open myself up to a punch in the face. Instead, you want to kind of choke up the arm a little bit. So now instead of being here, you're a little bit here, which is a little bit tighter. But you're still building a bad habit in many ways. Even if you put your intention into the center of the dummy, in the center line, the fact is physically you're still zigzagging. You're not doing a proper Pak Sao by going on center, right? Because a proper Pak Sao, we go on center, we bridge it and build a spring load. When we decide to go straight in during the exercise, we open the door a bit and then we flood in. You can't do that on the one dummy because the way the one dummy arm is built. Even if you use your visualization and go straight. So how do you possibly increase power? Well, the basic is you're bouncing off the horse, you tighten your abs, you curl up the tailbone. Instead of shifting, which is okay in your first couple of years. But if you do a big movement like a shifting, you really don't have time to do that if the guy's punching 5 to 6 times a second. It is much better to not move the knees and just turn the waist to get power. But you must first do the shifting first to progress, right? But like I said, even if you're smart enough to do that, you get the tailbone, you get the abs, you're not turning the knee, you're turning the waist, you're tucking in your elbow, you're using your elbow as a pulley, you're choking on the one dummy instead of going on the end, and you go into the center of the dummy. Even if you did all that, your power will still plateau because the fact is you're touching slightly to the side. There is a way to build a lot of power off this. If you're interested in that kind of progression, go to amchenkungfu.com. We have a wooden dummy course. See you next time, guys. Train hard and stay safe.